What's up, amigos? Welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for tuning in. As always, let me introduce myself. My name is Anthony. I am the host of the show. And as always, to the left, another host of the show, Cindy Lopez.
What's up, amigos?
And we are back with another episode with you guys. It's just going to be us. And we want to talk to you about something that's a little special to us, something that really reaches home. So do you want to spread the news?
Oh, gosh. If I have the honors to do so. No, honestly, this podcast is probably going to be one of my favorite ones because just everything that kind of goes with it. And I feel like this is something that can relate a lot and really help out a lot of people out there, to all of our amigos, right? But yeah, this week we're actually going to be talking about, you guys ready?
Drum roll.
We're going to be talking about how to start your own business.
Boom.
Boom.
So I know that seems very vague, and you're probably like, well, you don't even know what I like. Well, that's kind of the point. So, yeah, let's just jump right into this. But first, if you are new to the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button or hit that like button right away and hit that little bell over there to make sure you get notifications every time we drop a new podcast like this one. And if you are returning to the show, welcome back. What's up, amigos? And always, if you have any questions or if you have any kind of comments, just leave it in the comments or shoot us a DM. We always read them and we will always reply. So, yeah, let's make it happen. And we officially fixed the shirt thing with the website. So go buy a shirt. Help us out with the podcast. They're the Sancha and Sancho podcast shirts. It's got it on the front and the back. They're long sleeve. Go check those out. That is probably one of the best ways to support the podcast. And as always,
Here we are.
Let's
get it.
Let's do it.
All right. So, man, I feel like there's so many different ways to kind of go about this, but I think
For sure.
the first and foremost is definitely, I don't even know how to start this. I feel like it's definitely with whatever you do, whether you are working for someone, wanting to maybe exceed in that position, wanting to get that raise that you've been wanting to work for, that position that you've been wanting to get.
Yeah, this can relate to even things where you're not even starting a business.
Yeah. And, or it could be for someone who is starting a business and they just need a little bit of a guidance, or maybe they just want to have that reassurance that they're on the right path, that, so I think we all definitely experience that where we just want that. It's definitely that reassurance because,
For sure.
Sometimes when you're owning your own business, you can be caught up in a lot of maybe unsureness. I don't know if that's a word.
Are you talking about analysis paralysis, or what are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, maybe like analysis paralysis, and maybe you just don't know if you are on the right path or not, right? But, man, well, let's get right into it.
So something that we just really want to touch on is, I mean, if anything, it doesn't even have to do with starting a business, but obviously if you're starting a business, this is definitely one of the keys that you want to have. So, I mean, we've said it a million times before, and we're going to be saying it again on this podcast, but I mean, you always definitely want to have some sort of a plan, right? But even before you have a plan, like you're even sitting there, you're like, well, I don't even know what to do. I don't know what kind of business I want to start. I don't even know what I'm good at. But
sorry, I didn't want to interrupt there.
No, you're good.
But also, we just want to make sure too, as we're going to be sharing this, this knowledge, just like our perspective on things. Again, it's just kind of like our perspective
Absolutely.
and from our experience, right? So we're not like professionals, legal professionals or anything like that. So, I mean, definitely do your own research and make your own opinions off of it and your own
Yeah,
what would you say?
Do your own research.
Yeah.
Like no matter what it is, I feel like hopefully it just helps you get a start, or like maybe just a good premise of where you can make all this thing. Like everything can happen just from like all of these little premises that we're gonna try to go over, right? So, but yeah, we're definitely not professionals, but it's all from experience, and that's kind of why we started this podcast. So if we're having a conversation with somebody, we want you to have the experience that we're having with the conversation that we're having with them, or whether it's something that we're talking about. It's usually stuff that we've gone through before. So
Absolutely.
definitely, yeah. So
Yeah.
like I was saying,
Yeah.
you definitely always want to start with a plan, right? But sometimes you're like, well, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'm good at. Like, and that's what you need to ask yourself. Like, what are your passions? Like, what do you like to do? Or when you were young and you were a kid, like, what did you enjoy doing? What feels like you're not working when you're doing it, right? I feel like maybe you've heard that before, but it really is that simple. Like, what are you good at? What are you curious about? What makes you feel like if you put the time and effort into it, it doesn't make you feel like it's a drawback, right?
Now, once you kind of find out like what it is that you want to maybe make a career out of, what you want to make money off of, what you want to make a business out of, once you kind of figure that part out, it's realizing that you have to become valuable to the marketplace.
And those are definitely key words there. So that probably seems very vague, but like it is literally what she's saying. Like just figure out how you can bring value
into the marketplace, whether it is creating value within yourself. So it's, gaining that knowledge, that extra knowledge, or gaining that extra skill. Again, this applies towards a lot of things all across the board, whether you're working for corporate America or if you're, trying to run your own business. But yeah, I think that's the most important thing is creating value and becoming valuable to the marketplace. And what we mean by the marketplace is there's this saying that it's called the reality.
Yeah, the marketplace is literally life. That's what you go to do. I mean, you're thirsty, you buy a drink. Where do you buy a drink from? I'm bored, I want to go watch TV. Well, where do you buy a TV from and what do you watch? Like, it's literally everything that we do. Like, you want to go buy a t-shirt. I want to put my shoes on. I want to go put socks. I want to brush my teeth. I want to walk through my house. Like, there's so many different things. Literally everything that we do in our lives, there's something that we do where there's a job. There's something where we need somebody to make our lives easier by fulfilling a task, and we pay for that task. That's creating value, whatever it is, no matter what it is.
Yeah. And I think with that as well too, it's so once you kind of figure out, like literally you guys, like once you guys figure out becoming valuable and to the marketplace, you guys are set. You guys are going to be literally, you guys know exactly what you guys want. And that's another thing too. It's like, maybe it's like, okay, well, how do I become more valuable in the marketplace? Like, what is that? Like, how do I even go about thinking that way? Right. And with that, it's narrowing down 3 basic fundamentals.
Okay.
It's creating value, whether it's creating a service, creating a community.
Okay.
Or, of course, creating a product.
Yep. And honestly, everybody's probably very familiar with the product thing, right?
Yeah. And maybe a community too, because, there's a lot of different ways. Just for example, like us, like we created this podcast and we're creating our own community, like you guys, amigos. But, yeah, I feel like sometimes you could get a little bit lost, especially if you just don't know what it is that you exactly want to do, but kind of backtracking, it's just realizing what you like to do and seeing if you can turn that into a business.
Exactly. And just plan it out. Just like literally we've said it before. It starts with an idea and an idea turns into a plan when you write it down. So write it down, break it down into as many steps as you can. Start backwards. Like, what is your end goal? And then go backwards. How do you get there? So that's your plan. And then you take your plan and you back it with some action. Literally, just do what your plan is. Just one day. Take one step closer to doing it. The next day, do the next step. The next day, do the next. And next thing you know, you're full-fledged, like all the way in it. And
see, that's the thing though. It's like once you find out, whether it's a product, a community, or a service that you're going to be offering to the marketplace, it's now kind of doing the next step, which is doing your research. With anything that you do, especially if that's something that's, you're first starting out in, like you're going to want to do your research. Google is going to be your best friend. And networking. Maybe network with people who are already doing those things so that you can kind of gain that knowledge and maybe learn from their experiences or learn from their fails to kind of help you get started, right? But
And honestly, you'd probably be surprised just bringing it up around some of the people that you're in your circle. You'd honestly probably be surprised that there's some people in your circle that are trying to do similar things, or maybe they're on like the same kind of frequency, and that those are their goals, and like those things, or finding those people around you can make such the biggest difference. Like, and you probably hear that a lot too. Like, just surround yourself with people that you want to like be like. If you guys have the same kind of mentality, like those are probably the people that you want to be around. So
yeah, 100%.
but definitely, so that's where it is. Creating value in the marketplace, no matter what it is that you're doing.
Whether it's creating a community, a service, or a product, and then it's, doing your research in whatever category you're going to be going into. But now, like, once you kind of like, for an example, for those that want to start like a business and stuff like that, that's where a lot of people get the analysis paralysis, because you start doing all this research, you start finding out all of this information.
You're like, oh, this is a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, or maybe this is too risky. And
right now you're just getting too much into your head, right? And you're having these second thoughts.
All these excuses, and you just start getting scared. That's what analysis paralysis is. You start analyzing all the things that you're supposed to be doing or what it takes to get this done, and then you kind of go into shock mode, or you're like, well, what if, or what if this, or how do I do this, or this part doesn't make sense, or I don't know, what if I run into this, what if this happens, or my friend said that he knew somebody that tried it and it didn't work, or that's analysis paralysis. And some of these things, and I feel like we're learning it too, like especially after trying to do stuff like this, is sometimes you just kind of got to start. Like, you can't really prepare for everything.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You can't wait to just be perfect to, launch or to.
There's definitely a lot of things you just got to learn on the way. Like, don't try to learn about the things that what could go wrong. Don't try to learn about it before, I feel like that's a waste of time. You don't know what you're going to run into.
Yeah. And I think that's just something that you just got to prepare for yourself, like just in general, is just know that there will be obstacles that will be in your path as you're trying to achieve these things. But it's not even focusing so much on that. It's just focusing on one and only thing, which is finding out what your why is, and then what your purpose is. That's kind of like what your why is, right? But creating that value within yourself, and that drive, that ambition, that
that drive.
Yeah, that drive to make that happen. And so basically that's kind of the next couple of steps, right? Is looking into it and not getting into analysis paralysis. It's a real thing. But once you kind of find out, a little bit more into detail as far as how you can make this happen, right? The next probably couple of next things is probably getting like licenses, and
Absolutely.
and also it kind of really depends, because kind of depending upon like what you end up doing, sometimes you don't need licensing beforehand, but then there are some things that you do need licensing, like
like if you need a license to get like something that's a wholesale price, right? And you can't even purchase it without a sales license, or a wholesaler's license, or a sales tax ID, or a business, there's some things that you have to jump through. So that jumps back to just doing your research.
Yeah.
Finding out what you need.
And there's so many different resources to even try to get that type of paperwork.
That's what the best thing about today is honestly, we almost really don't have an excuse, because it's
Technology.
all at the touch of our hand. Like, just pull out your phone and Google it. What does it take? What state am I in? What are the laws here? Or you just Google like your Secretary of State, and you can do it there. There's even LegalZoom. It's not even like they're not a sponsor or anything, but hey, LegalZoom, they do a lot of the stuff for you. You can pay it for it. You can just talk to somebody. You can ask for help, or there's resources everywhere, honestly. So there really isn't an excuse. Just make it happen. But you got to do your research. Have a plan.
Yeah, definitely having a plan, doing your research, and acting upon it. So now it's like, now you kind of figure out all this paperwork that you got to do. And again, we're not legal professions or anything like that. So we're not going to go too into detail about that. You can definitely do your research, but
Get all the licenses, any kind of business thing that you need. Sometimes you need to get an EIN, which is basically like a social security number for your business. So that means you need to have a name. If you're in a partner, then you got to figure out if you're going to go LLC or LLP or how you're going to, corporation and what you're going to do for taxes. Like there's a lot of things there.
yeah. And you know what though? That's actually one thing that can be really, really, really difficult. Cause I mean, that's stuff that nobody teaches you how to do. And you just definitely have to have patience and know that there's a way. But I know just in general, it's, it's just the basics. It's like a EIN. That's one basic thing that everybody needs to get. Just like what Anthony said, it's just like it's a social security, creating an identity for your business.
Yep.
And then it's also getting maybe like a sales tax license because you're going to be selling things. Maybe you don't need that because it's a community or a service that you'd be offering. What else? And I know that there's like different, like if you're wanting to do maybe like it's just one person, it's just a small little business that you could kind of manage on your own. You're not like thinking so huge where it's like, well, I just need to like get something under my name. That normally is called like the sole proprietorship. And, that's definitely recommended if it's something that's you're just starting out. Or else you could always like elevate to a corporation, like an LLC or an LLP. And then that's where it starts getting a little bit more into detail with, whether it's a C Corp, a S Corp, all these different like licenses that you can get for and that you can file as. But again, it's just like doing your research as far as like how you envision your business to be.
Yeah, definitely just depends on what you're doing exactly. But I mean, if you're that far, then you've definitely done your research, right?
Absolutely.
So say you're already past that, right? Then you need to figure out what it is. Like, how are you funding all of this?
Yeah.
Do you have to have a full-time job? Do you need to have a part-time job? Do you need to sell some things? Do you need to hustle a little bit? And sometimes I feel like that's the hardest part.
Yeah. I mean, if money is not that of an easy access, yes, it can be a huge like struggle to overcome, but there are options out there.
Yeah, you can start leveraging a lot of different things. Like, if you're going to go in with a business partner, maybe they're the ones that have the money, or maybe you could talk to a family member or a friend. I know that's kind of rough and nobody really likes to do that. I don't like to do that. Use your credit. I know that's not always an option for other people, not everybody, but if it's an option for you, there's a way that you can leverage your credit so that you can invest it into a business. And investing kind of seems like a scary word because it's kind of a gamble. Investing really just means a gamble. But if you're gambling on yourself, come on, is that really a gamble? Like sometimes you just need to take the risk, but that's why you need to do the research. Know exactly what you want, know what your goals are, work backwards, make the plan, and then go from there. Get your licenses, figure out your name, go get a logo. There's even resources for a logo. You're like, I don't know how to make a logo. Go online. Go online. Google. Make me a logo. There's tons of different places that'll make a logo for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely so many different ways to, find sources to get you that startup money to start up your business. And you just got to network. You just got to find out, put yourself out there, and ask. And so then once you kind of like overcome, the money part, that's when I would probably say that the next thing would be,
I'd say create a website.
Okay, yeah. That's a good way. Yeah, I was like,
no matter what it is, and I feel like some people may hate this, but no matter what it is that you have, you're in sales. If you have a business, like you're in sales.
Yeah, you're definitely
sales.
selling your stuff. Yeah.
You're selling something, you're selling yourself, you're selling your identity, you're selling your art, you're selling your service, your product, you're selling something, your idea, you're selling your work. You're selling.
And nowadays, everything is all going towards like the internet. It's
Yeah,
going
it's all
off.
digital.
Yeah, it's going off of like, somebody being on their phone all the time to being on the computer all the time, or, everything is going to be.
Yeah, everybody's got a computer in their pocket and everybody's always on it. I spend hours on my phone, even though I don't want to, but I always do. So that's what it is. Create a website. You need to have a place for somebody to come and be able to look at your stuff. Create a website. I don't know how to create a website. Well, there's people out there that'll create a website for you. And even if you don't know how to do it, there's programs that like have like templates that make it really easy for you to make your own website the way that you want to do it. And it's like, watch some YouTube videos. There's so many different resources. So there's no excuses, but you definitely need a website. That's very important.
Yeah. So creating a website, putting yourself out there.
And then once you're there, they need to figure out your product or your service, what it is. If you need to get inventory, order your inventory. What are you going to do with your inventory? You need to figure out that. Like all of those things, have a plan for that. But you need to figure out your product or your service or what it is that you're
going to be going into.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And I think just like really kind of like summing all of that up, it's just the one and only thing, which is actually doing it and actually
Get
starting.
started. Yeah. That's the hardest part. That's 100% the hardest part. I watch so many videos of people talking about stuff like that. I've listened to so many podcasts of people giving examples of their stories and just being like, just get started. Well, here's another one. So you should probably go get started.
And it's definitely a lot harder than what it said, but that's just something that you definitely have to just remind yourself once you're like already getting started and you're like so close to launch or so close to, open up that business, whatever it is. You just have to like push through. Like you have to, not let yourself down.
Something that's really helped me is just find somebody else that's also starting a business.
100%.
Find somebody else that's in the same kind of frequency or the same kind of mindset. And you know what? They turn into like an unappointed accountability buddy. I mean, for me, we've been fortunate enough to have a circle where we've been around people that have been starting businesses at the same time, or some people that are like just thinking about the same kind of things or same kind of drive. And we see that. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm competitive. I'm competitive against myself, against like my own mind, against my family, like everything, So, you see that and it makes me want to work harder. I see somebody pushing themselves to do something and it's like, you know what? Like I admire that. So that's another really big thing. Surround yourself with some of the people.
Again, comes back to that.
But if you're a dreamer, it's okay. Have the dream. Take that dream, take that idea, write it down, have a plan.
Put it on a piece of paper.
Put it down on a piece of paper, write it down. Then you literally map it out. Start from the back, like start backwards, go from the end goal of what you could see it as, and then go backwards. How do you get there? There's your plan. Then back it with some action. Go out there. Go start doing it. Just go. Like, what are you waiting? Like, go do it. And then what? It's literally inevitable. Like, just find the value that you can bring to the world, no matter what it is, no matter what service, no matter what product. If you're talking, if you're selling, your presence, maybe it's your pictures, your art, no matter what it is, go do it. Where's the value? Bring it. I want to see it. I want to buy it. Let me be a part of it.
Definitely. I feel like that couldn't be better said. And again, that really just goes with anything. And it comes again with the one and only thing, which is becoming valuable and becoming valuable to the marketplace.
And even, this is totally random, but even if you're not trying to start a business and you're just at a job, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, and you're just trying to get a raise, how do you get that raise? Well, bring value to the company. Show up a little bit earlier. Show that you're committed. Try a little bit harder. Get those better numbers. Do the little bit of extra work. Bring value to the company. Bring value. That's all it is.
And I feel like that could be with just really a lot of things too. Because It could be just going out, taking seminars on your own where you're, learning how to be a salesperson, where you're learning how to negotiate, where you're learning how to speak another language. All of those fundamentals right there is creating value, definitely in a workplace, where they're going to see that and be like, oh, wow, you speak 5 different languages. I mean, you're definitely valuable. Or, hey, you know how to create a website. That actually brings value into our company because we need somebody to update our website. Or,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? It could be so many different things and so many fun ways to kind of go about this to make yourself become better.
Look, the possibilities are endless. So get out there, go create some value. And that's it.
Definitely. And that's why we're here, amigos. Like, honestly, we're just here to help our own community out and be able to share just our knowledge, our experience. And
We're definitely not preaching. I'm not telling you what to do.
definitely not.
I'm not giving you advice. It's none of that. We're just talking. And this is literally off of our experiences. And these are the things that have helped us.
And this is like kind of like where our mindset is at as well, because I mean, definitely goes along with reading books is kind of what helped us get to this point. It's reading books. It's, listening to like motivational things, whether it's on YouTube or networking podcasts,
books,
like talking to older people, maybe younger people,
some people are killing it.
Definitely.
So
I mean, it all definitely starts with the mindset. Once you have your mindset all aligned, everything else will align with you. Because the moment that you change yourself, everything else around you will change. And that's the nice thing about that, is that you don't have to change on what's on the outside. You have to change more on what's on the inside, whether it's gaining more knowledge, gaining that experience,
confidence, whatever it is.
Yeah, like literally so many different ways, right? But necessarily you don't necessarily have to change the things that are on the outside. Like sometimes you think like, oh, okay, I need to change. Like you're right, I need to change. I need to change my job. I need to change where I'm living. I need to, not necessarily anything like that. Like there's this thing too where you don't change the seed, you don't change the soil, you don't change the anything else. What you do is you make it grow. You keep watering it. You keep watering it. Keep watering it with knowledge. Keep watering it with experience until the point where it just starts growing and blooming and it's on its own.
I love that. So I hope you guys take that, run with it. And like always, thank you guys for tuning in.
You and your chocolate milk, I swear.
This isn't chocolate milk. It's a Yoo-hoo, okay? And it says chocolate drink, okay? It doesn't say chocolate
it's an
milk.
addiction when you actually bring it on the podcast. I will just say that.
Look, don't hate on me because I like milk. Like always, thank you guys for tuning in. Let's just leave it at that. Go create some value in the marketplace.
Create value for yourself.
And the marketplace. No, seriously. Thank you guys for tuning in.
And let us know in the comments, if you guys are starting up a business.
Please,
we would
seriously.
love to know what you guys are up to, what you guys are into.
I love that.
And, we'll look into your guys' stuff and we'll try to support ourselves too. So
yeah, absolutely. We will
let us know
and follow if you got an Instagram, whatever. Let us know. Hit us up. And I hope everybody has some success. Let's all go have some plans written down off of some ideas. Let's go make it happen, everybody. I want everybody to
succeed in life. Absolutely. Like, that's what we all want, Like, it's just, sorry, I just keep going into this, but it's just like living life is about finding purpose and finding a reason as to why you're living.
Absolutely. Everybody's got a role in our community. So what's your role? Go fill that role. Go fill that role in our community or in our family, whatever that is. And everywhere, it's just going to make it a better place, like, honestly. Go fill your role. Find your value.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that'll be the end of the podcast here, but won't be the last. So until next time, we will see you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in on this week's episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Let us know definitely in the comments as well too if you'd like to see more like this. Otherwise,
as always, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our everything, and make sure you hit that little bell over there. Make sure you get notifications every time we drop a new podcast like this one.
And if you guys haven't tuned into our last episode as well too, our last podcast episode, definitely check it out. We actually talked about how you can get a really good deal on or when you're purchasing a car. So make sure you check that out.
Yeah. A lot of good gems in there, so go check that puppy out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sounds good. Well, thank you, amigos. And that's all for today.
Have a great weekend or great rest of the week. Happy success, everybody.
Peace. Bye, amigos. Adios. Pa arriba.
Wait, why are you guys still listening? You guys need to be going out there and
I
creating
know.
some
What the
value.
What are you guys doing?
Why are you here? Get up. Like, why are you even playing this podcast? Get up. Go do some things.
But wait. Before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button.
And the subscribe
And make
button.
sure you're subscribed. Yeah, exactly.
And then go get up. Go get up right now. Go create some value.
And also make sure you check out our website and purchase a shirt.
And then create some value. I want to see it. I want to buy it. I want to be a part of it. And, yeah, thanks for being a part of this.
Gracias, amigos. See you guys next time.
Bye.